There's an age-old sports adage that says defense wins championships. In this video, I'm going to talk about how strong defensive tactics, a strong defensive foundation, not only applies to just sports, but to trading as well. So stick around. What's up, everyone? It's your boy Madaz here from MadazMoney.com, and today I'm repping the Reds, not because I'm red on the day or anything like that, but just because I simply feel like it, and I really believe it's going to be finally our year this year. We're at the top of the league. Screw you, Man City. You'll never walk alone. So this is something I tell my guys in the community, the Madaz Money trading community, all the time, that I'm a defensive-minded trader, a defensive-first trader. And what this means is basically that in order to know how to start trading offensively, trading how to win, you need to first understand how to not lose, how to trade not to lose. So I see this all the time when a lot of the newer traders out there, they bite off more than they can chew right off the bat. They dive off the deep end of the pool and they end up falling flat-footed, and their trading careers end up going down the drain before they even know it. So how do you go about making sure that you don't go out guns a-blazing, Rambo style, and prematurely condemning yourself into the trading abyss before you get a chance to actually even learn anything? So here are 3 simple tips on defensive-minded trading and how to protect your account and how to make sure that you have a fighting chance of survival in this difficult game. Now, when it comes to avoiding catastrophe, I've always believed that we should always take a step back to evaluate and figure out what causes it in the first place. By taking proper preventive measures, we can avert disaster before we're pressed into a very difficult situation where you're probably forced to make a very tough decision, where your emotions might get in the way and your judgment might be compromised. For example, let's look at a real life situation. We're often told before crossing the street, we should look both ways. Because unless you're interested in being in the running for the next Darwin Award, I'm sure you'd probably want to get to the other side of the street unharmed, unscathed, untouched. And this analogy carries over to trading as well. For instance, in an effort to combat over-trading, you guys know that I take my totally awesome trader naps on my 5-star luxury combinations back here, typically between the hours of 11 a.m. Eastern to 2 p.m. Eastern, because I know, obviously, if I'm passed out on my bed, there's exactly, about a 0% chance of me forcing trades, doing something stupid, and losing money. Another example is if you have a problem, say, with oversizing or revenge trading. There's actually some brokers out there, many brokers actually, that you can call in and have them restrict your buying power or completely shut your buying power off altogether. If you set a max loss or something, and once that max loss is hit, you can actually turn off your buying power, so that way you can't even make a single trade anymore, even if you got the biggest itch in the world to do so. Sticking to your bread and butter A+ golden setups is another great way to stay out of trouble. And I mean just sticking to them and not trading anything else. These are setups where you typically know you have a very high win rate, you're very comfortable, you know exactly how the trade's going to play out, you know exactly what to expect, so that way, you're not surprised at all if it doesn't work out. You know exactly what to expect on both the profit-taking side and the loss-taking side. And because your level of comfort with these A+ golden setups is very high, you're usually very composed, in a good state of mind, and usually don't have trouble taking losses if it were to come up. So for those of you who feel like you're a little bit more comfortable taking a setup that's not exactly an A+ setup, this is where you should probably learn to size down or even outright skip a setup that's too inferior to even be considered. Recognizing that a setup isn't exactly that golden A+ setup, but still wanting a piece of the pie, so to speak, but approaching it from a more risk management standpoint and sizing down or if you recognize that the setup is completely inferior and skipping it altogether is a great way to prevent precarious situations from arising. Now personally, I've got a full criteria checklist where for each play I go from top to bottom, point A, B, C, D, and so on. And if as much as one criteria is not met, by definition, it's not going to be an A+ golden setup for me, and I'm going to treat it as such, and I'm going to size down and mitigate my risk and trade it accordingly. This helps ensure that I'm not overcommitted with too much size on an inferior play, and we all know what happens when you're overcommitted with too much size on a setup that's not exactly a high percentage trade. Usually sooner or later it's going to catch up to you and you're going to get yourself into trouble. And if you're newer to trading and you can't seem to figure out or distinguish the difference between an A+ setup, an A setup, a B setup, a C setup, and so on, well, you can figure this out through tracking lots of data and metrics. And you can get these data and metrics through keeping a trading journal. And if you haven't done this already, keeping a trading journal, I highly recommend that you do this, because I started doing this about 4 or 5 years ago, and I can tell you this is an absolute game changer, because you start to see lots of patterns in your trading that you previously would not have noticed had you not kept a trading journal. And keeping a trading journal is something that is really, really important, and it deserves a video of its own. So stay tuned for that. I'm going to be working on a video about how to properly keep a trading journal and use it effectively to improve your trading several times over. As for the other points in this video, I touched up on them very briefly just to keep this video from being like 2 hours long. But in all honesty, they probably deserve a video of their own, so be on the lookout for that, as I probably will address those same points again in the future. So as always guys, be sure to like, share, subscribe. Leave in the comments below, what preventive measures do you take with your trading in order to protect your account? So until next time, this is Madaz signing out.